Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl, Binge and B. What you watching on TV? So this episode opens up with Natalie basically giving the rundown on how she felt about her taking her time off and having all the girls reach out to her, which by all the girls, we of course mean Summer's dopey ass. She basically just reiterates to them how deep and how sad this time was for her that she's going through right now. Another really interesting point with this is that Dolly kind of pipes up a little bit and she basically tells Natalie in the meeting that she don't really understand why they all get reprimanded for something that one person did, which was Summer. So she's not really snapping in the meeting, but I just think over the last few episodes we're starting to see Dolly come a little undone. I think we're going to see a lot. So the girls are in Detroit. I think this is Summer's hometown, and they decide to go and do their little auditions. Now, this is a really cute, like, little dance studio situation. So they go to the dance studio, and this is basically where they're going to rehearse so they can get ready for the show that's supposed to be happening tomorrow in Detroit. Because after they leave the dance studio, the girls meet up. You know how they get on the curbs and they be talking outside and shit, and it's cold, and everybody be huddled up. Well, it looks like they have made it to their next destination. And Jayla and Scotty actually meet them at this next destination. And they kind of go over like the little trip that they had in Italy. And I don't know if I heard about this when it happened or not. I know this was filmed a little while ago. But apparently, while Jayla and Scotty was in Italy, I guess it was a rumor that they got robbed. Well, Jayla actually clears it up on this episode. So they did not actually get robbed, but they did get pepper sprayed because there was some people outside of a club over there in Italy acting a fool, and Scotty's nosy ass wanted to spectate. So as they spectating, Jayla pull out her phone and start recording, and I guess one of the dudes, when he maced her because she was recording. So it's good they didn't get robbed. Side note, I gotta say, Scotty's little outfit dressed as Cher from Clueless is the shit. She looks so cute. And I wonder, did she have that specially made or did she buy that somewhere? I don't know. I just think that's really cute and it was really dope. Also, I'm so glad to report that Nunu, Fauna, and Cold Killer have squashed their little stupid, ridiculous, dumb ass beef that wasn't about shit in the first fucking place. Oh, I'm so glad that's over. I mean, that was like probably one of the most, I almost said the R word, but that was one of the slowest beefs I think I've observed in a long time in this little show. And then we go to this very weird ass exchange between Mariah, Summer. Oh yeah, okay, so it was Biggie that was sitting there. So it was Biggie, Summer, Tavy, and Mariah talking. But anyway, they have a weird exchange where Mariah and Summer, I guess they made up. Mariah was like, yeah, I know you're a weird bitch or whatever, but your song is good and you cool and you a baddie, so you deserve to be here. So I guess that was their way of squashing their little beef too. I mean, okay. And then Summer basically tells Biggie that it ain't her fault that Tommy thinks she a star. Girl, Summer is so fucking annoying. And you know what's sad about it is like you can't even really just pop that bitch in the mouth to get her to get the point. Like, so then we get to the venue. The girls are getting ready to perform. They all just kind of sitting around. It's a group of them sitting down talking to Scotty because remember she was gone for a little while. So her whole objective now is to just kind of, you know, go around, get the tea on what's been going on while she's gone. So that's what they're doing, right? They kind of go over that little conversation. Now, as they're talking, there is this strange thing with Nunu and Tavy. Apparently, the little argument that they had on the sprinter, like I remember seeing them kind of like arguing or something. On the last episode, I do recall seeing a little clip of that. I don't think I understood why they were arguing. So what we find out during this conversation is that they were arguing because Nunu had misplaced her bag on one of the sprinters. So she got off the one she was sitting on to go back to the other one to inspect to see if she could find her bag. Well, Tavy, probably not so politely, informed her that her bag wasn't on the bus, so she needs to go on about her business or whatever. I don't think she was that rational about it, but I digress. So anyway, some kind of way they end up getting into a back and forth, a heated argument over that shit. It was squashed in the moment. It wasn't squashed, but I think that, you know, for the sake of them going to where they had to go to, basically the argument ended there. Well, they decided to resume the argument only moments before they are meant to go out and perform. Child. Here we go. And see, now so Tavy is now, as they're getting into this conversation before the performance tonight or the tour or whatever, Tavy is starting to get a little heated. You can tell like her and Nunu are really just kind of conversing about it. Everybody else, for all intents and purposes, seem like they They chilling, like they're not really sweating it too much. But Tavy is getting hostile. Like you can see the tension in her voice and how she's talking and shit, you know. And Nunu is really just conversing with her. Well, I guess what strikes me about this particular situation is that Tavy is really on some weird shit lately. Again, if you watch my previous videos about baddies in any capacity, I like Tavy. I have liked Tavy since she got on the show. I think the season was last season or the season before. I think last season was her first season. Anyway, I like Tavy, right? I think she is, for the most part, pretty much who she is like in real life. Like I think that she's like that in real life. Except that's starting to morph and change a little bit. Now here's the thing. Now I think because Nunu and Cold Killer prior to this conversation had an extreme beef with Nunu over the whole stupid K-Rican shit, right? I don't know if them bitches sat down and talked to Tavy or not and told her, hey, we're not beefing with her anymore, so you know we can dead that. Like you don't really need to press her no more. Like we ain't on that shit no more. It feel like they didn't have that conversation with her, because she go into this conversation like super heated and she's like on go from the minute they start talking, which seems to be very unnecessary. Nunu is highly likable. She's silly, she's cute, and then she's super silly, cracking jokes, acting a fool. I just don't understand. You know, some shit just don't be justified. And so when it's not justified and you can't rationally pick out in your mind why a motherfucker would act that way, it make you look dumb. You know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, now we know that Tavy is almost 40 years old. So it looks extra worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, child, I don't know. This whole conversation left a bad taste in my mouth because Tavy and Nunu actually come to blows. They actually go 2 rounds. The first round, they say Tavy got that. The second round, they say Nunu got that. Quite frankly, I couldn't really tell. I think it was even both rounds. But I guess the way the filming was done, like you couldn't get a fair assessment. Like you can probably see better in person than the way they was filming it. So, I don't know. But what stuck out to me is how grossly unnecessary the shit was. Like, what the fuck was this fight for? Just because y'all had a disagreement and like y'all don't agree about the same thing right there in the moment? This shit is stupid. I feel like Nunu was the pretty girl getting picked on. Like, this is getting real, like, junior high. I'm mad because this bitch is cute and light skinned. You know what I'm saying? I ain't feeling it, Tavy. I ain't feeling this shit. So then we get to the performance, right? So the girls are doing their second performance on the tour. I mean, it's a concert. Like, I don't know that we need to do the blow by blow, play by play of the concert. Like, the motherfuckers come out, they sing their songs, whoop-de-doo. A couple of key points I think I'll note is that they did try to play DJ Sky like she got there late. I mean, she say she didn't get there late. I mean, bitch, it looked like you got there late. You know what I'm saying? But maybe you was there on time. Maybe you was supposed to be there 30 minutes after everybody else was there. I don't know how that works. But, I mean, that kind of started the show. So that was interesting. The other thing is that, you know, the whole battle between whether or not Summer's going to perform or not, and all the girls who got booed, and whether they should sit down and sit the show out or whatever. Clearly that shit is blown out the fucking window because Gretchen performs, Summer performs. Basically, all the girls still end up going out there and performing, which I'm not that mad about it. I will say I'm not that mad about it. Ironically, Summer sticking to her guns just ensured that all the other girls was able to perform too. So it kind of worked out in everybody's favor, if that makes sense. The other key point is there was this weird thing between Mariah and DJ Sky. Like, I don't know. I feel like anybody that try to pick one with DJ Sky is doing that because they know she's not gonna fight. Like, DJ Sky not gonna do shit. She gonna stand there and look at you with that real discerning face, like she's concerned and give a fuck about what you talking about, when really she don't. And then if you slap her, it's kind of like the exact opposite. She's on the total other end of the spectrum than Summer. It don't matter if you scream or if you yell or if you slap her, there won't probably be any adjustments to the situation. You see what I'm saying? But I will say, to her credit, she's a lot less volatile than all the other girls, so I can respect that. But yeah, so she played like the New Jersey version of Mariah's song or some shit, and Mariah didn't want her to play that, so she kind of pressed her on the stage and was like, "Get it right, bitch." I mean, she didn't use those words, but she might as well have. Hell, she checked shit out that girl in front of all these goddamn people out here in this audience. But that's really pretty much the performance. You know, it was a concert. It was just a concert with a couple of little minutes. But the girls did good. Everybody showed out. They did their best thing. After this performance, I can say that Gretchen, she did a good job on the stage this time around. I think she probably did a good job last episode too, but couldn't nobody hear her over the booing. Go figure. But she actually ended up ripping out the stitches that were in her neck from when she had that fight with Suki and Sapphire last episode, or the episode before last. So she ends up having to go to the hospital again because the stitches came out. Now, I'm going to have to say this about Miss Gretchen. I've already been taken up for Gretchen. I have already talked about Miss Gretchen. I have already given how I feel about Gretchen. And so, I'm going to do that shit a motherfucking again. I'm just going to say it again. I think Gretchen is growing on me. I really do. I think she's growing on me. I think she's goofy. She's funny. She stands her own. She just seemed like a really likable character to me. Aside from the fact that she lived in the hood where her using the N-word was acceptable with them, but not with no other parts of the United States of the Americas. Maybe she's flawed in that essence, in that sense, I should say. But I fuck with Gretchen. I really do. So hopefully when she get her neck and shit together, we can see a little bit more of her. I don't know how much further we're going to go into this season. We already in episode 11. And it's been pretty slow motion. I ain't going to lie. For this season, they've been pretty slow motion. But hopefully we get to see a little bit more of Gretchen and get a little bit more of her personality and shit. Because I just really don't think they done did her no justice. And she been here. What's this? Her second? Is this her second? Her third? This is her second season. I think it's her second. Anyway, whatever season it is, I mean, she made it back, so they saw fit to bring her back. So, anyway, clock it. I see you, Gretchen. I'm a fan. Okay, so the other thing is at the end of the concert, so, at the end, they have Natalie and Lemmy come out and they do their Natalie do her little song or whatever, and they do their big dog bop or whatever on the stage for the people and shit. So, all the baddies tend to come out, right? Well, as all the baddies come out and they just kind of bop into the music, Tommy goes up behind Rolly and she kind of sucker punch her from the back. Now, it looked like it was an accident. It didn't look like it was intentional. I think Rolly observed that it was probably an accident as well. But the problem is that after she punched her in the nose, Rolly was like, damn, bitch, be careful. You hit me in my face. And Tommy proceeds to choke the shit out of her ass. So after everybody is cleared off the stage and the girls are backstage in a little green room area, Rolly is just really kind of talking to the other girls about it, and she's like, this bitch hit me in my nose and I'm feeling some kind of way about it, and I wouldn't be feeling no way about the nose thing if she didn't proceed to try to choke the shit out of me like while we standing there. So we bring up Tommy. Now again, I've discussed before, I used to like Tommy a lot. And I don't understand why motherfuckers who drink or do any type of narcotics, people that do drugs and be fucked up all the time, why do y'all think nobody else can see that shit? I don't understand. Is it me? Am I tripping? I don't understand why people think she swear up and down she don't do no drugs. All she do is drink, but she don't do nothing else. Tommy is always on one. Always, 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 always. Now, to her credit, she must really understand her dosages and how her shit works, because that bitch is fully functional and she shows up at the things, and so far we haven't heard about her being found in no hotel rooms and shit incapacitated. So I guess she alright or whatever, but she be really fucked up. And so that's the issue with being fucked up like that all the time. It's not so much that you shouldn't have fun or enjoy yourself or stimulate your mind or no shit. You do what you want to do. But when you out and you moving around in the world and like you hurting other people and like you doing stupid shit that cause you to hurt yourself, like, don't you see the problem with that? I don't know. Anyway, so now Rolly is debating on whether or not it's up with her and Tommy. Quite frankly, I think it should be. Tommy is slowly infringing into this summer-esque zone for me. Just bitches that are annoying as fuck and they know it and refuse not to be. I don't think that's fair to the society. Like, it's just not fair, Anyway, now Rolly is going back and forth. I think it's internal. I think she's going back and forth internally on whether or not she should approach Tommy about it, and then she gonna probably have to be ready to get physical with her. But they made up, so I don't really think she want to do all that. Jayla comes backstage. She makes the announcement that she's gonna rejoin the Baddies cast. I mean, wasn't you already part of the Baddies cast? Again, Jayla's one of my favorites. She's one of the show favorites for me. But this felt stupid. Like, I don't understand what the fuck is this announcement for. Like, you already been here. Like, I know you was in Mulan with Scotty, but y'all was here when the season started. Then you went to Milan with Scotty, and then like now you back and y'all been going to the performances. Like, I just don't understand why she framed that as an announcement. Like, that was fucking stupid to me. I don't get it. Okay, so as the episode is closing out, the girls get on the tour bus. They have a little brief conversation. Mariah kind of go over her issue with DJ Sky, and she's talking to them about it and how she need to check her or whatever to make sure that she get her music right and shit. Whatever. So as they're getting ready to leave, we get two more girls that get on the bus. I believe it was Summer and Tinka getting on the bus at the same time, and so Dolly actually gets up to go, and I thought she was finna greet him and give somebody a hug. Maybe her and Summer is friends again. Maybe they cooled or made up or some shit, but no. Child, she lunges past Summer and goes straight for Tinkerbella. So Tinkerbella and Dolly roll their big asses up off that bus right through that little doorway and drop down to the ground. We get the blinky lights, and that is scene for Baddies episode 11. So that's where I leave off. The little clips show a little bit about what's going on the next episode. The next episode, Dolly is acting a motherfucking fool. Like, she is pissed off. And so it looked like she gonna run it with 2 or 3 people on next episode. So now it's getting good. They waited the whole season to give us some action. I'm gonna have to do a whole summary of this whole season when this shit is over with. But anyway, so that's it for episode 11. My thoughts on episode 11. I mean, it was what it was. There was nothing really fantastical, nothing that stuck out a whole lot about this episode, just to be honest with you. I think the only thing that, I guess the only real thing that I was kind of taken back by was the whole thing with Tavy and Nunu. That seemed unnecessary. That's some more shit. I don't know. Maybe that'll unfold a little bit more. That was weird. And then this whole shit with Tommy and Rolly. So we gonna see where that go. I'm hoping they'll be able to kind of squash it, because I don't think Tommy meant no harm in that particular situation. But we also know this bitch is slick, and she an asshole, and she is the type of bitch that'll do some stupid shit like that and be like, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. You know what I mean? Like, she's that type of slime. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, this is where we leaving off, and we gonna catch back up with them on episode 12 next week. Y'all holler at me in the comments and let me know if you like the new format. But I guess that's all I got to say about that shit, y'all. It's your girl, the Benjamin B. Gonna go find me something else to watch on TV. Bye.